The theme of the day is Decoding Shakti. The word Shakti itself shows that we are touching upon the spiritual aspect of the Wo-Manhood. Very intelligently put, it's the Wo-hyphen manhood. So we are not discussing just women, but we are also discussing man. And we are going to decode that Shakti. So what does this decoding mean? Is what my thinking was going in that direction. In what way we are going to decode that Shakti? We all believe there is a Shakti, or there are some people who don't believe in it, who say, no, there is no God, there is no such a thing as divine. We are just ourselves. Fine. But if we just say that there exists something, if they have faith in existence of something, then we can say that there is an energy. Such people, then they give different name. They say universal energy. The universe is being run. Of course, we need energy ultimately. So how are we going to decode this? And as Shwetaji said, my background is predominantly from the Bhagavad Gita. Then I expanded into learning the basics of Vedas, Ishopanishad I love. And in all this, what Sri Aurobindo had said about entire Indian tradition, and even beyond the Indian tradition, the entire spirituality which he has given to us. My background is that. But still, it feels like my background, if I say this, it feels as if it is only in one corner, shut from the world, and I am myself, my own spiritual knowledge. That's not enough. When we say decoding Shakti, using the energy, it is into the life that we are using the energy. And the moment we say life, we have to also additionally, simultaneously, togetherly say world. Because where is this life? This life is in the world. The moment I say world, the collectivity comes in. So my individual perception and its decoding the utilization of energy into life and world in the collectivity. Then that makes our spirituality complete. As we all know, this is what we call Sri Aurobindo's life-oriented spirituality, life-affirmative spirituality. And it is for us to work it out. So in this line of thought of working it out, I found 4 stages, which I'll explain initially. And I will give few examples from my own life and from other stories which we keep hearing from our tradition. But my point is not to give examples, but my point is to invoke a thinking in all of us. And that's what I've called it an insight. So understanding womanhood, examples and insights. That is what I'm going to talk about. And I have made a few notes here to which I may refer so that I don't go off the track, because the topic is so wide. And while talking, so many new thoughts start coming that I want to keep to the time. And also, if possible, give some time for question answers either midway through the session or at the end of the session as our flow goes. So the 4 stages which I have recognized. First, of course, it is the spirituality, what Divine Mother and Sri Aurobindo has said, or we even otherwise we talk. There is a divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the divine which is above, beyond all the genders, the supreme, the divine, the masculine and feminine as 2 of its aspects. So all that is there, and we all are quite conversant with it, and there are going to be other sessions also. So I'm not going to touch upon that. We all know that spirituality, the divine feminine. But the next one, which comes in the line is, if you have to take the Indian history, people have written, spoken, experienced gods and goddesses. And in Hindu Dharma, we have goddesses too. And if you see, so many of them are married. They are united, they are in union. And many people say a popular term, not that many people say it is a popular term to say Hindu mythology. Well, it is a myth that mythology is about myths. Not just for Hindu, but any other religion. How did it come into existence? It's because few people in any religion across the world, in ancient cultures, in today's cultures, they felt they had some experience. That experience got translated into some images, sounds, and then for us, it becomes something above natural, not conceivable by our five senses. So more than mythology, it is better to call it occultism. The plane is occult to us because we have not experienced it directly, but others have, and we believe in them, we have a trust in them. So that is the occultology, if I may say, because if I say occultism, then it again becomes ism, like, oh, you are like promoting that only. Not that. Occultology, if English language permits me to use such a word. And also, of course, I'm not denying the other side of it, that when we enter into this topic, occultology, there is a mix and match. Some people will add their own thing. Some experiences will be, authentic, I may say, or they will be the real ones, real expressions. I'm not going to that mixture because our topic is not to study that. Our topic is ourselves. Our topic is to find out insight for ourselves. So this is one, gods and goddesses, and there are many who believe in it. They follow it. They put a photo frame, Shiva, Parvati, married, and then Kartikeya, Ganesha, the family is there, which is good as a reference. Oh, we are a family. I, my husband, my children, and gods, goddesses also have a family, so we like it. The third stage, which I see, I would like to call it a systematization of these two, the spirituality and occultology. We have systematized it. How? We have gurus, we have traditions. They tell the Shishya, you do like this, you do like that, don't do like this. If you do this, then that will happen. They guide us because we need this guidance. And that is why this systematization also came into picture. It also helped a collective growth because human nature is same. Human problems are same. They all need a similar guidance at the initial level, at least. And so this systematization, so from this systematization, we get certain trends. Two predominant trends in this matter of manhood, womanhood, I see is one is a Vedic lifestyle and another is a Vedantic lifestyle. And when I say that, I'm saying the popular notion of it. I've seen Vedic people, those who actually go to Veda Pathashalas, they learn, they memorize Vedas, they marry later on. So there they don't have any such thing, no, one should not marry. We go to another Vedantic side, we see the saffron cloth people, they say, no, we will not marry. Both are great people, we are not here to compare them. But we are here to ask a question, and this is where I come to the insight portion of it. This makes us ask a question. Which is the one which I am supposed to follow? So many disciples have asked, if we see letters on the yoga, so many disciples have asked Sri Aurobindo, should I marry or not? How do I decide? Should I just go by the popular notion? Should I follow what others have told? Should I follow just what my guru tells, guru in the system of tradition tells? So many questions. And then we come to reading certain spiritual scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita. The popular notion, sannyasa, means leaving everything. The Bhagavad Gita tells sannyasa has a totally different meaning. Sannyasa. You are putting something, you are offering yourself to the Brahman. I'm not even saying it divine God. Brahman is the technical word, the existence, the supreme existence. So slowly our perceptions change with the help of these spiritual scriptures. And then we become capable of finding out what I am suitable for. Am I suitable for marriage and family? Am I suitable for being independent? And then we move on. The fourth stage, after the systematization, the third stage, the fourth one is I want us to mentally in our thinking today, I want all of us to come to practical real life. If we just look around, we are living in the world. Not everybody is a follower of Sri Aurobindo. Not everybody is a follower of any occult gods, goddesses. Not everybody is a follower of any proper, like a traditional guru. People are free, they are doing whatever they want, and we have to live with them. And they are influenced by multiple forces from the world, where the world is going. People are talking gender is fluid. Then again, we start thinking, oh my God, what is this? So, this fourth stage is the Kurukshetra, is the field where we are supposed to work. Kurukshetra is the term in the Gita, the field of work, which is same as Dharma Kshetra. That's a different, I don't want to go into the Gita topic. But our actual social life, I will call it. I call it social because whatever be our individual ideas about womanhood, ultimately they get enacted into the world. They get either support or a denial or a compromise, multiple varieties. This I leave it as a point for introspection later on, whenever in your free time, because I myself keep introspecting on these lines. So there are two things I see in this. In our daily social life, my individual psychology and the collective mentality, I will say, rather than psychology, the individual psychology and collective mentality. So I'll give a very quick example from my own life, how it happens, how it works. Somewhere I went for a talk, or the topic was Bhagavad Gita. And it was not for any women's gathering or anything. It's a normal talk where everybody had gathered, men, women alike. And at the end of the talk, the lady who was to give vote of thanks, she very genuinely, she said, she was very genuine and appreciative. And she said, we all have seen what a woman can do. And inside my mind, I was shocked. I said, my God, I'm being looked at as a woman. Till then, it was way back. Till then, I had no idea that there is a discrepancy, there is a discrimination done in the society. There is something called a gender bias. I was in my own world, my individual psychology. I was like, oh, so nobody treated me. Luckily, my bringing up was such that nobody treated me differently because I am a girl. So it was a shock. But later on, going home, I thought about that lady who said that. She also had a valid ground on which she really appreciated. See what a woman can do. And then again, we come, which one do we follow? Which one is right? Well, it's not about right and wrong. Again, that is what my point is. It's not about right and wrong, but it's about the theme, decoding the Shakti. And I mean, using the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual essence, and applying it, allowing it to flow into the society we live in. The conditions may be favorable, they may be unfavorable, but when we know the highest knowledge, then we become capable of spreading it into the world. How are we going to spread it? Hopefully, in my own flow of talk, I will come to it. So, these are the four stages. Another few seeds of thought. We talk about gender and we talk about womanhood. I'm always going to say this word like womanhood so that you always remember there is a hyphen in between. If we see, we all were born as a gender, the body in the when it formed in the mother's womb and we took birth, the body was biologically man or a man's body or a woman's body. So gender has a biological connotation. But then we keep saying, oh, become a complete woman, become a complete man. What is this completeness? There we attach our psychology, social life, our mind. So the completeness, wherever this gender affects, that completeness of life is the hood, childhood, adulthood, manhood, womanhood. So the complete thing is, why to keep on saying womanhood? Why don't we say humanhood? You know, sometimes so much it goes on. Oh, woman, woman. Oh, come on, women are also humans. It rings in my head sometimes. Women are also humans. And again, the word also. We say women also can do this, women also. What is this also? So one day I did an experiment on my husband because he's the best person to experiment your own such kinds of thoughts. So one day I said to him, okay, listen. He said, what? He thought, okay, something is coming. He said, what? I said, I'm going to compliment you. I'm going to say, men also can cook food. Men also can raise children. Men also. He said, please stop it. Please stop it. I said, that's the problem. Why this also? Anyway, the point about biological gender I raised it's because biologically it begins and it ends. Boys and girls have puberty. There it begins biologically. And along with the body growing, psychology is also growing. Mind is, I don't know what education, what influences from outside, where it will go, God knows. And then it ends also with the andropause, menopause, both are there. So biologically, and if we have kept our psychology along with the biology, it ends also. So is it that a great thing? Because in today's world, and as last 5-6 months, I've been with Gen Z generation, although I don't believe in such talks like why every 10 years I have to change the name or what? Human beings are human beings. So, but as a term, so I have to use the popular term. So is it that much a big talk as if this is the only thing which exists? There is nothing else which exists? Every time we say about women, what we talk? Marriage and children. Oh my God, women are all about marriage and children or what? But then we only say, no, 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 women can do career also. Then we again say, no, career and family, how to balance? As if that is the problem only of women. Don't men have the problem? They also have to take care of career and family and balance it. So again, the point is not blaming outside ourselves because what is our work? Our work is to, as I said earlier, our work is to understand, experience the spiritual thought and decode it into these 4 stages which I told, and then bring it outside. If that is our aim, then we will stop blaming outside. And additionally, if in the society, if we are at a position where we can really bring a change in the world through, say, government policies are there, so many NGOs are there working for really those who are challenged because of their gender. We can really bring a change there, but first we have to bring it within. I really ask myself, and I want to put this question here for our further individual or collective introspection. Is it really a gender issue, or is it the issue of human nature? I'll give a quick example. We were discussing somewhere that Hindu Marriage Act came in 1955 in India. And the polygamy was abolished by law, like it is no more legal. So monogamy, one husband should marry only one wife. Before that, one husband could marry as many wives. So we had a case law, one husband using five wives. Oh my God, how is that possible? All the girls in our group were like, no, 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 how can you do that? And then we had to also discuss polyandry. Okay, one woman is being shared by five husbands. And then we're like, no, 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 how is that possible? That's not fair. Discussion got over. And then it struck to me, what was the wording we used? One husband uses five wives. Oh, wrong, 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 wrong. The trigger goes in the mind. And one wife is shared by five husbands? Shared? Objectification. Oh, objectification of women. Wrong, wrong, wrong. But the problem is where? The problem is in our mind. Even while saying the kind of language which comes out from our mouth, including me, because we all have to work on it. Naturally, we tend to speak, oh, man means he must be dominating nature. Woman means she must be submissive nature, dominating. That is why one husband uses five wives. And that is why one wife is shared by five husbands. Not necessarily. Is it like that? It is for us to open our eyes and look, if not at others, at least at ourselves. My submissiveness, is it because it's the issue of my nature or is it because I'm a woman? It's like, so many, I'm sorry, this example comes to me. So many housewives, again, that is another term in double quotes. Oh God, it triggers me sometimes. But housewives, they say, I'm cooking food because I'm a housewife. Oh, come on. I'm cooking food because I want to live alive. Go to next stage. I want to cook food because I want to offer it to God. Because offering to God brings me happiness. We can give multiple reasons. Is that the only reason? So, I'm submissive. Is it because I'm woman or is it because I am submissive? And the same way to the dominance. I'm dominating. Is it because of gender or is it because human nature? And then we were fighting in that group discussion. No, no, women's issues, women empowerment. Nobody talks about men empowerment. Men are dependent on women for their wife. For what? For cooking food. Come on. Doesn't it hurt? Is that not a independency, ability to cook? Is it not a part of independency? Is financial independency the only thing? But again, we start slowly going into the fighting mode. Oh, too much fighting. No, no fighting. It is for us to work out. I'll come to that point of fighting. So after the discussion in my group, when it got over, I came home and then I wondered, family is the smallest unit in a society where the collectivity begins. In that case study, which we did, if there were five wives, why they could not establish an equality with one husband? Five wives. So is it about the numbers? It's not. Why five wives became submissive to one husband? Why? And these are the things which we can use it when we discuss how women should be empowered, how men should be empowered. Men are also under tension. My God, I have to earn money. You know, I'm actually talking at the very social level, the fourth, the last of the all the three which I spoke. It's like the taboo I may call, or the mentality I may say. As if a woman is not a woman if she is not a wife and a mother. And as if a man is not a man if he does not earn money. How sad. How sad. We are talking of life design. But the trouble is here. It is here between the individual and the collective. That's where we have to work on. Onus is on us to see through, not to get influenced by outside, but understand really what is our highest principle and work it out in the society. About the fighting I was talking, because slowly the more we dwell on this topic, the more we go in the direction of fighting, blaming, fighting. But then I must say another seed of thought. If we are fighting, and fighting not always in a that crude way, but for example, many a times I will my husband will say to me, why are you trying to prove yourself? You're already accepted. It'll make me think, oh my God, what is the need that I have to prove I have, even suppose if I have to put my point forth, these are my thoughts. Why am I trying to prove? Just say, yeah, these are my thoughts. It gave me a lot of liberation in the mind. Be free. Don't try to prove. But this kind of struggling to prove comes because at the back of the mind, we feel, oh, there is a division, and then I have to bring equality. Again, now this term equality I'm going to take forward. The moment we say equality, we perceive somewhere at the back of the mind that there is more than one, say two, man, woman, and then they are not equal and we have to bring them to equality. Fine. For administrative purposes of law, for government policies, Sukanya, Yojana, etc. Yes, we need that. But in our daily life, how long if I keep on having this perception in mind? Yeah, there are two and then we have to be equal. So I will cook food, you cut vegetables. I will, the whole thing proceeds from the ground of division and then bringing equality. But now, if we take this to the next logical step, oh, there is no such a thing as division, then suddenly everything closed down. Man and women are same only, don't bother. Where is the issue? So why to distinguish? No, so fine. No, it is also not that. You see that you say man and women are different, that is also incomplete. And we say man and women are same only. There is no distinction. That is also incomplete. How do we resolve it, at least in our understanding? Forget about bringing it out in the world. But first, for our understanding, how do we bring it? What is the truth? So in Bhagavad Gita, because the moment we say equality, immediately, oh, Bhagavad Gita, because that's the most popularly used English word if you have to explain Gita in English. Corresponding Sanskrit is samata or samatva. So that is very popular. But there is one word which is less popular in the Gita, from where this samata begins. That less popular word is ekatva, oneness. Oneness. And let us be very clear about this. When we say equality, that is different than when we say union. And that union is again different than what we say oneness. Union, when we say, of course, in Gita, it is a different context. Union of the human with the divine. Which means, yeah, human and divine are as of now different in their levels of existence, in the grades of consciousness, to use Sri Aurobindo's terms. And then they become union, they become one. But how they become one? There is a oneness. All men and women both are human. That humanness is the oneness. Here is a aphorism. This is a very popular book, compilation from Sri Aurobindo and the mother's writings. The name is On Women. It's a very useful book. In that Sri Aurobindo's compilations, in that aphorisms. There are two ways of avoiding the snare of women. Now that's with a context, so we are not going into that. There are two ways. One is to shun all women, to shun, go away, and the other to love all beings. The same applies to men also. Same applies to women also. A woman can also say, no, I will shun all men. Or the other way for her is to love all beings. Don't love based on anything else. How do we love all beings? How is it possible? Each being is different. Every person I meet in my life is different. How can I love all? I can love it only through that oneness. The Ishopanishad, very sweet line is there. Ekatvam anupashyata. Tatra ko mohaha kaha shokaha. Ekatvam anupashyata. The one who is seeing means experiencing the ekatvam, oneness. Then where is the sorrow? Where is the fight? Where is the, wanting to prove oneself? Where is it? Of course, it's for us to work out when we meet people, when we work with people, to work with this ekatva, the oneness. That is where our struggle is. So the struggle is with ourselves. The struggle is not with others. The struggle is we are trying to bring that ekatva with others. Of course, the struggle doesn't end there. The others are not ready. The others are not wanting. Others are not willing. Others are having different ideas. There again, the difficulty, the challenges will begin. And that is why I'm not proposing any solutions here or a bracket, the set of solutions. This is the solution, use it. It's not like a capsule. It's a part of evolution. It's a part of development. We all are on a different directions and levels of development, evolution even. So it'll happen gradually. We can do only our part, but we must do. In Gita, action is understood along with non-action, karma, akarma. So every time when we say, oh, I need to act here, here is something wrong. I need to act here. We also have to see, if I don't act, then what will happen? Because that will also create the consequence. Akarma, non-action will also become a consequence. It will create a consequence. So non-action also becomes an action indirectly because it creates a consequence. So we have to be very careful in deciding where I am supposed to act and where not I am supposed to act. It's a big deal. Many people, we don't need to feel very small regarding that, because if we look at, say, for example, Mahabharata, the whole story is about what is dharma and how to convert it into karma. Everybody is struggling with it, but it's not that we are small, but it's that the concept of dharma, the spirituality, is very huge. And this womanhood is also a part of it. We cannot just avoid it. Oh no, I don't like to discuss about it. Leave it. No, it's there with us. We are born with it. We are living in it. We can't avoid it. Just like we can't say, I will be ascetic, I don't want money, No, we can't say that. Because it is existent. No matter, it doesn't matter whether I want to deal with it or not. It is existent. Whether to my knowledge or not, I am getting affected by it. So we have to deal with it. That varies situation to situation. Many people used to say me, you are a Gita teacher, so you must do the fight. I said, Baba, it's not that fight. Then I used to say, it's not my Kurukshetra. We have to understand what is my Kurukshetra. This situation, is it my Kurukshetra? Is it my field of work? Or no, not now, maybe later. So we are not going away from ourselves. We are still doing our work only. But on the way, on the journey of life, am I supposed to act here? Or no need to act, I've got other things to do. So it's not that all of us, so today International Women's Day, all of us today, let's get inspired. And tomorrow onwards, let us all start working on. No, it's not that. Our life will go on, but side by side, wherever we see some contribution which we can make by, say, by sharing our insights or by actually helping, practically helping others, we can do that. We have a choice. And the choice is gradually becoming a necessity because things are going in very difficult directions. It's gradually going to the point which Arjuna faced in the Bhagavad Gita. He can't go away from it. He has to take a decision. It's a zero time which Arjuna has. No time to think and decide. Because situation is slipping from hands every day, especially if you see all the news today. I'm not a person who keeps a full track of current affairs and very little I keep track. But I'm just saying, as an outsider, that things are going quite in a difficult direction. And that is why I said, no, I want to give this talk. I don't want to avoid. This is one of my actions. So this much I have spoken. More than this, I think it's 7:40 now. I have a couple of more examples and insights to share. Some of them are from classical Sanskrit literature, because I've already discussed the little bit references to Vedas, Upanishads, our social life. So, few examples from classical Sanskrit literature and a couple of examples, if we have time, then from Sanskrit language itself, with the view of, opening the doors of our mind, how we think, and how it helps to introspect and open an original, or I should say, intuitive insight. But I will pause here. If anyone wants to say anything, we'll take, say, 2 to 5 minutes. If anyone wants to say, I would like to give a scope here.
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Deepika. I am joining from Rajasthan State, Jaipur district.
Yes.
As you have said about womanhood and oneness, so I am also experiencing different kind of a spiritual, you may say, I'm on this path, so I'm experiencing the different kind of awakenings. Like you may say, illumination when you get to know about something and then you realize it immediately, so that you can go from stage one to stage two. Likewise, if the oneness is kind of knowing the self first and then experiencing with all humbleness that the other one is also supreme immortal power, and then seeing the other one as godly as I consider myself. So is it the same or something different?
You mean the other one means the other human being, or the other like the above?
Yes, yes. Like you said, humans only, that oneness can only be experienced while we considering them as like humanness.
Huh.
So that way. Is-
Yes, it is. If we are seeing the other one as only human, not a man or a woman, and even more, as you said, if you are seeing the other one as the divine, as a consciousness,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
then of course we it is a great thing.
Okay,
So,
ma'am.
so
Thank you.
is there a question you want to ask, or
Yes, ma'am. That was the question only, that oneness can easily be it will be very easy if we start seeing or experiencing all others like us only. considering them on the same pedestal.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you are in the right direction, I must say. And for our inner strength, we should always recall in this context the four Mahavakyas. They are taken from various Upanishads. They are the Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi. The Brahman, I am that Brahman. Tattvamasi. That Brahman are you. The Guru is saying to Shishya, but as you said, it is applicable to all. I am that, you are that. Yeah.
Ji.
Ayam Atma Brahma. That's the third Mahavakya. This soul, of course, when we say soul, we think as it is separate than the. No, this existence is the Brahman. And Prajnanam Brahma. All this Brahma is a spiritual Prajnanam. Now, that's difficult to explain very quickly, but it is something conscious. It is something living, alive. You know. So, this we should always take support in, because when we work in the society we always feel little, because we are many a times we are the only person, we are like going against the flow, we are going against the common way people think and act and interact. When we are only one, we need to take some support, some strength. So that time we can always say this in our mind: Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi. So we all are the Brahman. That doesn't mean that is different than, you know, don't disturb anybody, be good to anybody, no, allow anything, it's okay. Of course, not that. That's what.
Ji.
Conversion from dharma to karma is an individual skill.
Yes, ma'am. May I know more about the fourth stage, like Pragyanam? Like, where can I study more about it?
It comes in one of the Upanishads. I will let you know later on the exact name of the Upanishad via
Oh,
Shwetaji. Yes.
thank you so very much.
Yes, most welcome.
Happy International Women's Day, ma'am.
Yes, yes, same to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So just one thought that I had, what you said is very beautiful about the oneness. But practically, also you mentioned that we are actually, I mean, this is something that we're starting to think, and it's a new thing compared to what others are actually having, and that is something very deeply rooted. It's been there from so many generations. So just give you a practical, difficulty that probably I face and a lot of my friends face. So, in families like mother-in-laws and relatives, parents, everybody have these stereotypical thinking of what is expected from a woman and what is expected from a man. And we are trying to, this equality or anything oneness that we are, trying to say, it's not really getting to them. So how do we, bring about this transformation in such a situation?
Yes. There are two parts to it. First is to handle ourselves and be clear and powerful within ourselves. And the second is to make others change. That many a time seems to be a hypothetical thing. Oh, how can I change others? And we are not supposed to change also. Or maybe we are supposed to change. We can only take efforts that others will change. And again, as a part of the family, as a family member, we don't want to break things. Usually we have this concept in a family. We will put things across very clearly, but without breaking the relation. That's where our tussle goes on. I want to express something, I want to speak, which in my opinion is better than what you are saying, but not at the cost of breaking a relation, breaking a family. That's a skill. It takes time. It may be successful, it may not be successful. If it is not successful, we are not the only ones who are at fault. And if we have done our work, the first part, if I am clear in myself, and if I have used the best of my skills for putting things across without breaking the relation, if I have done my part, then even if things fail, even after giving a sufficient of time, then I am not at fault. You have to understand this. After that, situation wise, okay, agree to live with it with a different viewpoint, with a help, ashraya, with a recourse. Ashraya is the correct word. With a recourse taken in the spirituality of Bhagavad Gita, okay, I will live my spiritual life, not look at others. They will taunt. I have taken hundreds of taunts for being independent, for choosing myself what I want. We have to put a boundary. Let them be. I will not be affected. That's the maximum we can do. And in that, you will know, oh, I am growing. I have not thick skinned, as they say in English, but I have increased my capacity to live irrespective of others. Yes, practically, there will be difficulties. They will keep taunting. But the other side is also there. The more we will handle ourselves in this, and the more we will either make an impact on others. If they want, they will change. If they don't change, it's their problem. As Divine Mother says, under crashing circumstances, a time will come when the most unwilling, most blind, they will want to, they will have to change, because we are all heading in that direction. We are going towards higher evolution. We are not into these small, petty things, which for us, we are recognizing petty. They are not yet recognizing it to be petty, but they are also on a different ladder of evolution in their own way. If they are against us, if they are deliberately causing us trouble, then your Bhagavad Gita begins. Dharma and adharma is the fight. It's not the fight between Kaurava and Pandava. Again, it is situation based. It is all open. What is possible, what is not possible. But the more we get to this strengthening within us, we also start realizing that from where this imposition comes, that gender specific roles, a woman should do this, man should do, it has roots in our tradition. The third stage which I spoke of, the systematization, there is a spirituality, there is an occult level of experience, then there is a systematization. I'm not saying it all happened in this sequence only, it might be parallel. It's only for this session I have, this came from my mind, so I'm putting it in these 4 stages. When there was a systematization, it was what is called as codified. Like, oh, woman, marry, have children, man, okay, do this, do that, do the earn money in today's context. But that systematization, it has the force of a shastra. When I say systematization, the actual Sanskrit word which rings in my mind is shastra. Shastra is a collective knowledge, and I'm saying this with the background of essays on the Gita. You can go to that book and just find out what Sri Aurobindo speaks about Shastra. Shastra is the collective knowledge. Human beings have collected it over a period of time and then brought it in front, almost in a codified way. The loose translation of Shastra is science. They have brought it in a codified way and they have just put, if you do like this, it will happen. If you do that, that will happen. There is a natural, for example, there is a natural energy in a man and a woman to get attracted to the opposite sex. So it is good to marry. But then what happens? Oh, it is good to marry. And then what happens? You must marry. You see how the Shastra itself gets differently, uh, what should I say, not diluted, but differently understood over a period of time. So if you see the gender defined rules, they're actually very practical. That is why this tussle goes on, because we all are, we are educated, as women I'm talking about. We get educated and then suddenly, so till last day before graduation, they say, oh, you're so great, you have studied, now you go for a job. And then we go for a job, and you reach, say, almost the age is 25, at least for my generation it was 25. One day before age 25, oh, you're great, you achieved so many things. The day I crossed my 25th birthday, marriage. Oh God, what happened to everybody in one day? No, 25 plus late age. So these are coming from the roots of a Shastra. They are do's and don'ts. The people who bug us, who taunt us, they are themselves not, they have not studied Shastras. There are Pandits who have studied Shastras. Even how much of Shastra on a text it has remained with us, how much it has got mixed up with many other things. It's a long history of many, not many thousands of years, but many years. If you see the Panchanga, it's not thousands. Vedas is not 5,000 years old. It is many lakhs of years. It is a yuga, different yuga. For that, you have to use the different calendar. So their roots are coming from there. The more we and they have not studied. So once we understand from where the roots are coming, we start respecting it. In a way, it is good, no? To have a do's and don'ts in life. Slowly we start reconciling within ourselves these things. In a way, we feel, oh, it's good if somebody tells this is what you should do in life. So good. After that, I will think what I want and that only I will do. That's the intelligence. Not intelligence. In Gita's terms, it is called as Swadharma. I don't want to confuse more by saying here, but I have to say because I'm feeling impelled to say that there are many dharmas in Gita itself. Suddenly, you will say dharma, array, till now it was singular, now it is plural. It creates many questions in our minds. Everybody is following their dharma. In a sense, not the ultimate. So here we take the help of English language. Dharma singular, capital D. Multiple dharmas, small d. So everybody is in a way following what is possible by them. Once we start recognizing it, oh, other people are not capable of understanding it. It is, again, now if I say if this is like a mother like feeling, you start looking at those who trouble you, you start looking at them as your children. Oh, they're not grown up. But they may be good at other things. In there, they could be my gurus. They could be in my parents' place. You know. So it moves on like that. I hope I have answered the question in the flow I went.
Can I jump in a little bit? This is Vasudha Mohan from Canada.
Yes.
Much of the discussion is very contextual, depending on the society you're living in. The conditioning, we are talking really of various conditioning when you're talking about the Shastras, right? It's just fundamental conditioning. So these like I have grown up in India. I came here 30 years ago. Any of this is of, I suppose my daughter can't even relate to this discussion.
Yeah.
You're getting the point. She simply can't even relate to it because these are non-issues. So what happens is that a larger fabric of society, when you talk of many dharmas, principally everything revolves around economics and how the economics of society pushes people into roles. That's all it is fundamentally. So we are not the way our mothers and grandmothers were. And let's say we have crossed 7 seas and gone off. Our children are definitely not the way we are. She won't even relate to this topic. Literally, she won't. And most of the households here, it's the man who does most of the cooking. Most of the households here, yeah, because a woman thinks that, she has accomplished her biological role of producing a child, and that's awesome. And after that, it's his responsibility. Change the diapers, get up in the middle of I truly tell you, my son does way more work than my daughter does. Way more. Okay. And so that delineation of roles gets blurred in a very big way, and they're truly equal at that point. I find each one does what they are good at to the best of his or her capacity, and that's it. So there is no more role definitions.
Yeah. So work is work. Where is the gender in it?
Where is the gender? There is no gender. The only place where the gender comes into, till now, the man hasn't got a uterus, unfortunately, and so the woman. still goes on to bear a child. And for that, there is a, how do I call it, widget given saying that, hey, you have born a child, you've done a great job. Now you need to put your foot up and rest while I take care of other things for a while. And then she jumps back into the fray again. And that's pretty much it. And yeah, where is the mother-in-law and where is adala onnume kediyadu. I mean, I'm a Tamilian. And
Innume
there's,
kadiyadu. I know.
you know, so
Innume
there is
kadiyadu.
onnume kediyadu, which is why, like, when it comes to matrimony or something, we do find it a bit of a challenge, because we get lots of young ones coming from India, right, doing their postdoc and PhD and whatnot. But the vision, the societal vision, there is a big disparity. Big disparity.
Yeah, so the main point is, yeah, so can I just add to it?
Yes, please.
So the main point is, yes, it is society based,
That's it.
and that doesn't mean that in other societies which are outside India, there are
Hmm.
no issue. Am I muted?
Issues will be there. Issues will be there, but the issues are not based on any perception of gender. Issues are there, economic issues are there, rights issues are there,
So
battering issues are there, because physically a man is stronger than a woman, whether you agree or disagree. Okay, so those things are there, but it is not based, it's fundamentally, the differences are based on biology and nothing else. Like, obviously a man can lift way more than a woman can lift, right? So those kind of issues will be there, but just biology dictates the differences, not anything else, not
yeah,
opportunities, not economy, not roles.
so you have a question, or is that only a
No, I'm
comment?
just making an
Okay.
observation, saying
Okay.
when you talk of dharma is fundamentally just societal conditioning. That's all it is. And over the ages, it gets some degree of sanctification. It is not carved in stone. That's the way I look at it.
Right. All right. So this is what the whole point is. It is for us to think what we feel is correct, fine, what is suitable in our uh, society, I mean the
Mm-hmm.
immediate society. We should also keep a track of, we keep talking about negative things. We should also keep a track of positive things. For example, because it is because we need to keep a balance, we need to see through. The whole point is to bring an insight. So things are picking up. For example, in Maharashtra, I suppose in Sangli district, a school, they have started a project. All boys will be taught how to make a bhakri, the roti, the bread.
Party.
Yeah. And all girls will be compulsorily made to put to cycling race for girls, and bread making competition for boys. So things are picking up. And in India, especially, the point of living relationship is picking up. Like the current generation, they are saying
Oh.
marriage, living relation is better. So they when they ask me, I show them the good of both the sides. Uh, and if they start saying, no, no, it is there in Western cultures, I said, yes, don't adopt it because it is Western culture. Adopt it because you want it. And how will you want it? How will you decide whether you want it? It is based on the information you have it, not the information, the way of looking at it. For example, and I deliberately give a different way, which probably they have not thought about it before. I lived in London for 4 years. A mother, she was a second generation Indian. Like the mother herself was brought up there, her parents Indian, and the second generation Indian daughter. So she was telling her daughter, go and have some boyfriends. Don't think somebody will marry you without having a living relation with you. And the daughter was hesitant uh, because she had no option of arranged marriage. Her parents were directly, no, it's not going to happen in UK.
Mm-hmm.
So here in India, as Divine Mother had said, India is a land of experiments. So okay, now here that these things are coming in, I say that understand the good and bad of both, of all. Live-in relation, okay, but also understand if you don't find somebody to marry, you do have a system where parents will search for you. Of course, ultimate decision is the individuals. Not that it's just a way of meeting. You meet via friends or you meet when parents search for you. At least that support is there if your parents are giving support. Because who knows, 50 years down the lines, parents will also say, it's none of my business, you take care. I will not look for grooms and bridegrooms for you. It may happen, who knows. So good. I'm very happy that this discussion you all have spoken here, because the whole point is, as I said, there is no conclusion, there is no solution, a bracket solution, but it is only about invoking the seeds of thought. That's all. Any other questions or?
I'll jump in because I know, Ojasi, that you have a time limit, you have to go.
Yes.
But I would just like you to touch upon the thing that while we were speaking and we were talking, and you shared about Yajnavalkya and
Yes.
Gargi. So I would really love you to share that story because I think in today's real world, we are facing this. I would not like to call it an issue all the time, but yes,
Yeah.
largely it has been taken as an issue, the separation in between the couples and the divorces, the rate of
Yes.
divorces
Yes.
picking up. So how can we have a deeper insight on
Yes.
that?
So it's a delicate topic. I call it delicate because people who undergo divorce, it's really painful for them, because of course they married never imagining that there might be a divorce, most probably. Or these days people are thinking before marriage, oh, is there a possibility of divorce? It's a delicate topic, and even before trying to talk anything about this, I will say in advance that if some other interpretation comes out from my words, please don't mistake me. I'm only trying my best to use the most correct words and the most mm, truthful way of expressing of what I am thinking. So it's about the taboo. I'm not talking about the couples who undergo divorce, but I'm talking about the taboo which the society gives to the divorced people. Slowly, what is happening, or what will happen, maybe, that if they are more in number, the taboo may recede. For example, a girl, if she is not married by a certain age, it becomes a taboo. More and more girls come, they are free. Oh, okay, so what? I'm not married. Then the taboo recedes because just simple majority, the quantity number increases. Similarly, who knows, the taboo may go away. But how long are we going to wait till the taboo go away by itself? Right now, we need a solution. So I used to wonder from where this taboo came. Probably it came from this idea in the Shastras that, oh, marriage is the whole life. Even some Shastras say, for 7 lives. And as I said, it's the occultology, it's the Shastra, it's some other level they are speaking. When we convert it into our social life, it is different. The conversion of dharma to karma is very different. But we have a story of Yajnavalkya. Now, Yajnavalkya was a great ancient rishi who had a dialogue with Gargi in Janaka Raja's court, Mata Sita's father. So I'm just trying to relate the time he was in that time. He had a wife called Maitreyi. So they were married, they had an ashram, and then Yajnavalkya said that now I want to move on. I'm done with the married life. I want to move on. So Maitreyi said, fine, all right. So in the story as such, I don't see anything that, oh, the taboo. How can you separate? Because the marriage itself was of a different depth, a different maturity. And then they fulfilled it. And then they moved on for a further fulfillment. Because in both of them and in the society, probably, I don't know, I can't talk of society of that time. But if today's society have to give a taboo to them, that, oh, how come such a great person, Yajnavalkya and Maitri, they divorce? Technically, in today's word, it is divorce. I, from my perspective, will not give a taboo to them, because having studied little bit of ancient scriptures, the ancient level of depth and maturity of living life, we can understand that it was a deeper purpose behind marriage. It is to learn from the other gender. The predominance. Okay, every person has both masculine and feminine aspects, but I may have one aspect more than the other. And if I feel that I can learn from the other what I am lacking, and if I marry that person, someday that will be fulfilled, no? The lacuna, someday will be fulfilled, no? Then what? Just because I'm married, I have to be whole life, I have to. You need more time, space, maybe. In Yajnavalkya's and Maitri's case, that is what I saw, I felt. Based on my individual perception, the scholars are there, they might be having different perceptions. So it is not a taboo. And this is where we need to think through, see through. There are saints in Maharashtra who said, okay, let us move on. Some saints were married. Santa Eknath, he had a whole family. Santa Tukaram, he asked his wife, do you want to come Vaikuntha Gamanam? That's the story. He, again, little bit occult thing is mixed in it. So we have a limitation in understanding the full. If you have to debate fully on that, then we'll have a limitation of information itself. Information itself is little less, not of the our level, it is of the occult level. But he asked his wife and he thanked his wife. These are the stories again. Somebody say, no, where is the proof? Okay, we are not discussing whether they were right or wrong. We are discussing what we can develop ourselves. If I am facing a divorce, how I can come above the taboo. Or if somebody else is facing a divorce, how I will not put a taboo to them. So again, the fight and then coming together, fight of genders, then coming together, and then again separating. All this gets pushed aside when we take support in our conscious spiritual, take any source, take it spiritual, take it occult, gods, goddesses, take it tradition, if you have a guru, take it that. And new taboos can come. I wonder, sometimes I imagine, Shwetaji, who knows, maybe few years, a new taboo may come. Oh, you don't have a boyfriend? Taboo. Oh, you don't have a girlfriend? Taboo. Oh, you don't want to marry? Taboo. It may happen. So we shift taboos, and there is no answer in that. The shifting is towards this, towards the knowledge, towards the spirituality.
I
Yes,
just
good.
wanted to know. I live in Jharkhand in Ranchi. We have a house opposite a park. Now, on several occasions, I've seen uh, young adolescents, girls, being pestered by males, young boys in the motorcycle. Some others
Yes.
abused physically, also slapped and pulled and forcefully, and it generally occurs during the noontime or when nobody is there around in the streets. I don't know what is to be done. If I go and interfere, something awkward may come up. It
Yes.
may turn to violence. So, what is the role of being a male individual? In such a society? It bothers me a lot when I see such incidents happening, especially among
Yes.
the young tribal girls who are adolescents. And
Yes.
then another aspect is of if somebody is physically abused. There have been examples in my life while I was working in the field that it is hushed up, because of certain I will not mention the religious background, but they hush it up, and then they don't want to raise the voice against such indisciplined people or the environment which is around, particularly in the rural areas where young children have to travel by cycle or walk through different long distance to reach their home.
Yes,
So these
yes,
are the burning issues. You
yes,
can
yes.
share
I can absolutely resonate with what you are saying. And yes, it is a serious issue. That's what things are getting serious, and more than a choice to act or not to act, they are becoming a necessity. But of course, we have to be prudent and practical also. If you go and say something, they may harm you. Yes, that's the practical intelligence. If of course law is trying to take care of it, if there are people into law governance who can bring protection, all that is also work is happening. It's also it is understandable because so much of women empowerment talk is going on. So it is natural if a boy is growing up in an environment completely seeing women are given more priority, the child, the boy may start feeling, what is this? Why men are put, put down? A child may perceive like that. And the same child growing up may feel, oh, what is this? Let me trouble them. Whichever is the nature of the child. A lot of it depends on the education we give. Again, the moment we say, give them the sex education, again, it is a difficult thing. How to give it, what to give it, at what age to give it. So many questions and issues are there. Only one example I can give, and it's actually what I wanted to share. It's good that this came in this reference. At least at an individual level, I don't know what you will go and talk to them or how you will work it out. It is your capacity, your intelligence, your strength, your situation, practical. It is totally up to you. But one strength I derive from, because we all have been, it's eve teasing is normal. It's been, depends, of course, which society we grow up in. I'm not saying normal means it is everywhere and not a single place where it doesn't. I'm not saying that. I always think of Draupadi's example, Mahabharata Draupadi. We all saw those TV serial, such a, such a melodrama around that. But if you go to the root original, Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute in Pune did a 20 plus years research project and they have brought out a critical edition of Mahabharata. Only those verses which are most true and trustworthy, that version alone they have brought it. Rest all is subject to different additions or this. It is not fully authentically, like, of course, authentic is a tough word, but they have brought it. They run a course on it. That they said, the scholars of Mahabharata, they are the most best scholars available as of today. Not best, the most scholarly people available regarding Mahabharata. Best or what, I don't know, I have not seen the whole world. They said there is only quarter of a verse about the Draupadi's incidents in Mahabharata, and the story moves on. But what we see in TV serial is totally different, the melodrama. And my point, now only I'm coming to my point. My point is, in the original, that critical edition of Mahabharata, or in any other, whoever has read any Mahabharata, Draupadi shows her intelligence. The three things Dhritarashtra asks her, you ask me what do you want, and what she speaks back. I will leave it because of the paucity of time. I leave it for all of you to search it on Google. What she speaks. First of all, she dismisses that if Pandavas had already put themselves as Dasa, they cannot put Draupadi on the bet because a Dasa is already Dasa. So legally she says no, she is not a Dasi. I leave the details to you. Then she shows such a dignity. she asked among the three things, she asked that all her 5 husbands be freed from the dasa thing, not the slave, but the dasa thing. Then she asked back all the weapons which they have lost in the game. And the third thing, this is the point, the dignity which she has. She is a Shakti. Draupadi is a Shakti. She says, I don't want your third boon. It's like kicking out. Who are you to give me a boon? But my point is, where our focus goes, oh, Draupadi means we can't even talk about her, my God, we feel. But this whole portion of what Draupadi is, as a Shakti, we keep aside. So sometimes I say to myself, if women were to write history, Dushasan would have been the person much more ashamed than Draupadi, what Draupadi faced as a body shaming in today's world. Isn't it? Take the example of Shakuntala. Kalidasa wrote Abhignana Shakuntala. I mean, that the Shakuntala character, the heroine, is shown to be like the stereotype we may call. But he takes the story from Mahabharata. The Shakuntala, the same heroine in Mahabharata, is having a totally opposite character. She is shown to be very strong. But why our focus goes more on Kalidasa Shakuntala and not on Mahabharata? Why we look at the woman who cried, but not the same woman who showed courage? Bhasa is another Sanskrit Natakakara, the drama writer. In his Swapna Vasavadatta, Vasavadatta is the character. There is a standard thing. He has inserted one separate episode in which the heroine is only crying. But if you see all the other characters, all the other episodes for the same heroine, she is very matured. She is very understanding. But in this one, she is shown crying. It looks as if the debate goes among Sanskrit scholars. Why this episode is separately inserted? As if the society wants to see a woman crying. There is our focus going. Of course, I have not given you any solutions, but I am just trying to, the sources from where we can gather our strength.
Would you say that in today's society, 20th, 19th century, the women have been demoralized, and you had the girls being put down the moment they were born and all this kind of thing in India? The whole trend is due to our generation women's or mothers have not read the Sastras or the Vedas. So it's all a misconception, given by the Brahmins or the Maharajas, and all these rituals doesn't make sense. It gets nobody anywhere. Everybody's the same after going to the temple. The same cruelty goes on for women, daughter-in-law or daughters or whatever. It's all come down due to our Sanskrit being lost. Would you say that?
Thank you for saying that.
From your information, knowledge you're gathering, that the strength of a girl and a womanhood has been destroyed right from the day of birth for girls in this country, and that makes them weaker, which makes this force of the men. You see, the reason the men actually attack the women or want to whatever way, sexually or anyway bully them, is because the women have become weaker. In the olden days, they were much stronger characters. They were given much more respect and much more higher authorities.
Yeah, so there are two things which I want to say here. What you pointed out, yes, women are being, if I can add the word deliberately, because that is one theory I have heard. I'm not a scholar into the history, sociology, political development regarding this in our society. But there is a theory I have heard about that women were deliberately put below, deliberately, their degradation was deliberately caused systematically. Somebody used the word in my discussions, they use the word systematically, they have been demoralized and put down what you said. Yes, if that theory is true, and even if that is not true, that is the past. We have to create the future. Yes, again, how, what, that's the introspection, what, how we are going to take it forward, up to us, as per our Kurukshetra. But the second point which you said, and I instantly thanked you for saying that it's because Sanskrit is lost. It looks like a long leap, like as if, oh, everybody will learn Sanskrit and everybody will become suddenly no intelligent. No, it's not like that. What you pointed out is, even if you want to have a spiritual knowledge, if all that literature is in Sanskrit, and there is a Tamil literature also, uh, agamas I keep hearing, but I'm sorry, I don't know much of Tamil, and but I only know that whenever I utter the word Sanskrit, I should also utter the word Tamil, because the language is at least as ancient or even more ancient, I don't know. I'm just putting Tamil in the picture also. But when you said Sanskrit is lost, and you're absolutely right. When we want to read the scriptures, we have to learn Sanskrit also. Or else, we all are lucky people, rely on whatever Sri Aurobindo has said, Divine Mother. Then we can cut short, no reading of any religious, any scriptures, no learning of Sanskrit directly. But then in my personal experience till now, that is what I was. I was directly relying on Sri Aurobindo. But then when it came to connecting with life, these scriptures and Sanskrit, they helped me as a link in between. Because Sri Aurobindo tells directly everything. How are we going to process it, understand it, bring it to our level and apply it? So this learning of spiritual scriptures, for example, Bhagavad Gita and Sanskrit together, that has helped me. So it may look like a long leap when you say, oh, all this because Sanskrit has lost. But yeah, it is true, because Sanskrit has lost. And it has not lost. It has lost from our memory, not even memory, our attention. Sorry, why to use memory? It has lost from our attention. If I take each one of our, if all our are from various parts of India and outside, all of us have at least one Indian origin language, the Pradeshik, the regional language. You take that and connect it with Sanskrit, you will find similar words. So I can't say that Sanskrit has lost from our memory. Sanskrit has lost from our attention. So there are many people I find, and I literally forget everything else and I get into telling them that please learn Sanskrit also. They say, why to learn Sanskrit? Interpretations are there, translations are there. Okay, then be dependent on it, and the translator translated because you don't know Sanskrit. He never said no need to learn Sanskrit. He is not giving you a substitute. He is giving you a stepping stone. But yes, one big exception, Sri Aurobindo. To the extent I tell people, if you want to read essays on the Gita, and if you decide not to read, it's a very big statement I make. If you decide not to read Bhagavad Gita and or Sanskrit and just stick to the book essays on the Gita, it is enough for you to begin a life. It's a big statement, daring for me to say in the world for those who don't know Sri Aurobindo, but yeah. Thank you for speaking about Sanskrit.
Also, I think on the same note, what the point was brought up that that the women were kind of suppressed, and the women the past generations of ours did not had a opportunity to learn and to read the scriptures in Sanskrit. On this note, I feel that it was a time period, it was a dark period when the Shakti itself was the Shakti aspect. Now I'm directly talking about it was now again some occult terminologies may come up, like the forces which did not want the Shakti to rise fully and to come into the action. So that was the time period when all the knowledge was kept aside, not only from the women, but all around the world. We can say, we can see that, you know, even men, the true knowledge was hidden for a long period of time. And now we can see slowly that the truth behind everything from all the cultures, we are trying to get back to the roots and to the truth of the real knowledge. And that is when I see the Shakti is awakening. So Shakti not as a woman, but Shakti in a man and in a woman. So I think the era of Shakti has begun already. Is what I feel.
Because Divine Mother has come,
Yes.
manifested in earth.
Yes.